What's going on, everyone? So, we got some news and updates in regards to the upcoming Scream 7 and official filming start date. So, according to Production Weekly, Scream 7 will start filming on January 7th until March 12th in Atlanta. So, this is huge, right? January 7th will be the beginning. We'll start getting some news and information. They're going to start, dropping some details. Obviously, hopefully, nothing major or significant kind of gets out and leaks. Scream has done a pretty good job of keeping things under wraps. Obviously, stuff gets out, but Scream has also been one of those franchises that will record and create different endings and scenes and stuff so that way they have other options in case things kind of leak and get out. But nonetheless, this is the beginning towards the upcoming Scream film, a movie that at times looked like, are we ever even going to really get? Now, I relayed and was very confident that we would, just because Spyglass and them spent $500 million to go and acquire the rights to Scream. Now, it wasn't just Scream, it was an entire catalog, but Scream was the gem, right? That was the thing that was worth the most. Through these two films, they've made some money, but not anywhere close to what they need to kind of even just break even. And you're starting to see them kind of branch out and expand into other things, right? The Kirby movie. They're still supposed to be working on a series at some point, and then obviously doing the upcoming film, and we're probably going to get another 3 or 4. I mean, there's already talks about this being the beginning of a new trilogy. That you had the Sam and Tara, part of it, and now you're going into this new Sidney part. You had the Sam and Tara films, you had the Sam and Tara, kind of sequels. And then now you're going into this new installment, this new potential trilogy. It's kind of been, the beauty is that it is, and they have thus far, we'll see if that continues, kept continuity. But you do have kind of these blocks, right? You got the original trilogy. Then you have Scream 4, which is kind of its own thing at this point. Then you got 5 and 6, which are going to kind of be its own thing at this point. And then you have what is going to be Scream 7 and beyond. We'll see how long that this iteration continues, or if, we kind of get a new block, right? Which I'm fine with. The beauty of Scream, what I've talked about, is that you can continuously make these films. I mean, you could go forever. You could release a new film every year, forever. Because it's always somebody different. It's not a Freddy, a Jason, a Michael, right? Where it's when you kill them, you gotta retcon it, or you gotta find a supernatural, paranormal way to bring them back, right? Where when you're talking about Ghostface and Scream, it's just whoever's under the guise of Ghostface, who's ever wearing the costume. And I think that is something that is really beneficial to the franchise. But the actual release date, for those that don't know, just to kind of fill people in, is February 27th, 2026. So we still are, well over a year away for the actual release of the film, but that's fine, right? Even talked about this months ago at this point. I take your time, right? Even after the Melissa and departure and then kind of going a new direction, I even said, don't try to rush it. Don't try to, oh, okay, well, we still had planned, we still wanted to get the film out in 2025, because you even heard the rumors kind of going around that they still wanted to push to get this out in 2025. And it's you're basically back at ground zero. And you're going to, expedite this and try to hurry the process and get this, recorded, put out, edited. Don't give us a terrible film. People are patient. People will wait for quality. If you give us a good Scream film, people are going to be excited. People are going to wait. But if you just put out dirt just to say you got a movie out, you're going to end up losing a lot of your audience for future installments, right? For the most part, right? Every Scream film has been good. I have my critiques. There's Scream films that I like more than others. But I don't think that there's ever been a bad, this is terrible, trash type of Scream movie. And you have that for pretty much every franchise. Right? Again, there's some films that I prefer more than others. And, some that I think, I've been very critical of Scream 5 and 6. Scream 3, I know, has really kind of built a cult following in a lot of ways, and people defend Scream 3 with their lives, and I love that. Like, that's the beauty of having so many films. Everyone kind of has their own, ranking for what they want from these Scream films, or where they rank these Scream films. But Scream 3, I think, is poorly delivered, which I know the backstory. I know everything that went on behind the scenes, which is why I don't really talk negatively about that film very often, if ever, because I do understand the details and behind the scenes. But I just thought the structure and layout of that film, Roman looking like he teleported at times, the execution to the reveal was awful, right? Roman is like kind of sprinkled. They did the same thing with Mickey in Scream 2, and it irritates me about Scream 2. I like Scream 2, but that was one of like the huge knocks for me with Scream 2, right? But of course, you can nitpick things on all these films, of course. Outside of 96, none of them have been like perfect movies. Scream 96 is about as close to a perfect movie as you can get. Then outside of that, I mean, you can nitpick everything, but that doesn't mean that they were bad. Doesn't mean that they weren't great films. That doesn't mean that I don't watch them and, want to watch them regularly. I mean, I've seen all these Scream films. Like 96, I've probably seen, no joke, probably 100 times. Also, with the line of work I'm in, talking about Scream, and kind of building the back on this channel on Scream, like, yeah, I've watched all the Scream movies more than most, just because, I need to know every detail, every aspect, every element, words, phrases, everything, because, if I'm going to reference or bring something up, I need to be able to make sure it's accurate. But, I want, and the point is, before I went on my little rant, was, I want them to keep and maintain the quality. I don't want that Scream movie where you're just like, well, they should have just not made this, right? Like, I don't want that. I want, like, usually by the 7th installment, they've gone off the rails, right? Most franchises by the 7th installment have either been completely retconned, or they are, they've gone the supernatural paranormal route where, Jason is no longer just a boy that grew up. He's now this demonic monster, and, it's just like, you go down the ranks, Michael Myers is now this superhuman that is, basically a god, right? Like, it's just, you kind of go down, or you get into like the space movies and stuff. I love that this franchise hasn't gone that route, hasn't needed to go that route, right? This franchise has done right and has done a good job of maintaining continuity, maintaining relevance. People are genuinely excited about the Scream films. I as critical as I have been about Scream 5 and 6, there are a lot of things that I do think they have done right, and a lot of things that I think that they've done better. For example, I've talked about Ghostface heavily. I love that Ghostface, they went away from kind of the clumsy, goofy type of Ghostface, right? It's not that silly, right, tripping over himself. No, it's just brutal, to the point, sneak attacks. It's more real. Right? Like, you're not going to sit there and play with your food for 20 minutes. You're just going to go, like, if I want to take you out, I'm going to take you out. Yeah, I might distract you. Yeah, I might, kind of toy with you a little bit, kind of set the mood, and you still have movie logic and the fact that it's a film. But I like particularly Scream 5, right? Like, I've even said, if you took Scream 5's Ghostface and kind of like the militant Ghostface in Scream 6 and married the two, you would have the perfect Ghostface. Because Ghostface was dark, brutal, well-trained, tactical, right? Like, and you saw in like Scream 5, like the kills were, a lot of people like to criticize the Dewey kill. But if you actually watch the Dewey kill, it was real, right? Especially considering it was Amber. Because it wasn't, Dewey won the fight. And he even set it up prior, talking about how he can't fight. He's, got all these nerve issues and all kinds of stuff. Like, if he goes, he's going to his death. And he still came out on top. Still ended up manhandling and being able to hold off Ghostface stabbing him and stuff, right? It wasn't something where Dewey just got completely overpowered and outmatched and everything. Like, I don't care how big you are compared to somebody smaller. If they have a knife and you don't, you're at a disadvantage, right? Like, you could be, 7 feet 380, and somebody 5'5" could come with the knife, and you're at a disadvantage, right? But Dewey was able to overpower them and handle business, and then he gets distracted, which a lot of people I've seen over this time has criticized him getting distracted. But again, if you watch the past Scream films, that's always been Dewey, right? Like, look at Scream 2. He knows and is actively aware that a killer is chasing him right now, and he gets distracted by pizza and ends up getting stabbed in the back, right? Like Scream 3, he gets hit in the head with the butt of a blade because he's sitting there fumbling around. Like, that's who Dewey is, right? That's why, like, Scary Movie named him Doofy, and he was this, like, goofy guy, like, because that's what Dewey was, right? So I like the sneak attacks. I like the brutality. I like the darker undertone of Ghostface. Maintain that. Keep that. Right? This is going to be a Sidney film. Fine. I'm all for it. I'm on board. I am somebody that has talked about how I think we need to move off of Sidney Prescott at some point, but I also understand the circumstances. I also understand the situation that we're in. I understand, after Melissa Barrera departure, you're kind of in this spot where, I gotta figure this out, right? Like, so what's the safest route? You bring back Sidney. Okay, cool, fine. You got me. I'm on board. Let's do it. But, again, you got to do right by her. I don't want to see another Scream 3, centered around Sidney Prescott. Be creative. Tell the story, right? My biggest concern has just been the writing. I don't think the writing's been very good in these past 2 Scream films. But you got Kevin Williamson along now, so that should help a lot. And we'll see, right? I'm always going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm always going to be hopeful. Like I said, I don't think that there's been a bad, I don't think you can look at any of the Scream movies and go, man, that one was trash. Again, you can be critical. You can, there's, again, some movies that are just better than others. But overall, I think for the most part, every Scream film has been really good compared to, other franchises that have had, say 7+ installments. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are you excited for the upcoming Scream 7? Are you kind of in between, in a mixed bag? How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. And that subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.